G'day, listeners. This episode is proudly brought to you by our sponsors, supshq.com.au. Use BWB15 at checkout to receive 15% off and direct shipping.
Welcome back to another episode of Bros with Brains, here with myself, Mr. Aaron Scuffy, and I guess Ben's here too because, I can't really speak by myself. I mean, I could. It'd just be really boring.
Hey, Aaron. Hey, Aaron.
Yeah. Hi, Aaron. How are you going? Good. And how about you? Yeah, good. Okay, all right, bye.
Well, I've got enough friends. They're just personalities.
Yeah, exactly. That wasn't me. That was pressure. How are we? How is Brisbane? Is it sunny today? I feel like it should be sunny today.
It's
sunny
actually,
here.
Yeah, we're coming pretty good. It's been like, when Bomb just bombs it and it's like, you're due for a thunderstorm, and then 3 weeks go by and it never came.
Yeah.
Sort of like, my dad's affection. It's just like left in the wind.
That's
pretty much what happened. So it was supposed to be, there was storms this morning apparently, but then it comes up to being 32 and sunny with like a hint of cloud. And I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, which is complete.
I've been keeping my tan for a place that's supposed to be storming, so I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's cooked here. It's like the other way. So it's like we had such, and I feel like it's like opposites. When you guys are sunny, we're pissing down rain, and we're fucking sunny.
Bomb's actually giving us your prediction.
Yeah, like we're sort of looking at it. The last 3 days has been horrendous. Like we had like 18 degrees, 15 degrees. Like it's been cooked. Today, now the sun's out. So it's like as of this morning, or I guess lunchtime today, it's like they're supposed to be clearing, and the next sort of 4 or 5 days is like low 20s, I think, or something like that. Summer. Yeah. Summer. Low 20s. Nice. Summer.
Yeah. We're sitting at like 32 at mid peak day today.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, now look, the sun's gone again. Anyway, like as soon as I start talking about it, it fucking disappears. But anyway, oh, man. Training going good. Same shit, different day.
Yeah, training's going real good. Training's going really good. Like just, I think the best thing with coming out of this prep with the hip flexor was that the forced reconcentration on my training, where I had to find intensity through actual contraction, not just force and abuse. For a lot of people, like, yes, we focus on tension and stuff in prep, but the main driver in prep training for that last sort of block is mostly just driving fat loss, right? And then just sort of like getting through it. That sheer abuse is to try and maintain tissue and reduce, improve composition. That the reduction in supplementation that forced the actual isolation of the injury, and now correcting it, it's forced me to slow down and really emphasize isolation and contraction. So, just doing things like single leg extensions, single leg hamstring curls, fucking like better tempo controlled hack squats, because the risk or the aggravation occurs if I do it, incorrectly, and the load isn't quite there yet. The strength hasn't come back, especially coming off supplementation from the back end of prep. Just hasn't quite got back to that explosive strength block where, others that kept dosing are. The intensity's just been driven out of just fucking control and being smarter. Like actually realizing I need to train the muscle, not fucking just throw it around, which I was doing. But it's like I find every end of prep phase, or like, because I had 2 potential preps in COVID. So far I've found as each sort of time went by, I'm learning more about how I connect and where the issues are and things I'm gonna be better at. So like each time I get out of a cut or a prep phase, I'm sort of doubling down and sort of redirecting how I train and how I can be better and trying to be more efficient. So every time I do, it's like a chance to get better. And that's just what it is this time. Like I'm sitting at, like I've put on my posts, like 98 at a hold phase, literally on sub, well, fuck. Yeah, not to say exact, but very, very little amount of supplementation.
Yeah. You're on pretty much HRT, TRT dosage.
And it's literally just holding the heaviest of it. Like there was points in time where I had to fight to stay.
Well, actually, isn't it? Yeah, no, technically you are. You're in TRT, HRT dosage. We just look at your bloods.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Hey,
it's almost like I know I'm doing something right.
I think I'm doing it. I think so. So that's I used to fight to get near 100 kilos. Like I was near sick every day to try and get up there. And now it's just like it just blew straight back there. It took fucking we've held here now for like 2 weeks. So it took 4 weeks, all of 4 weeks to get back there. Yeah, softer in the midsection and like a little bit of lower stomach fat, but the ratios are still there. My shoulders are wider.
Yeah, exactly right. Like
my waist is still tight. So like everything that we indicate for like a good off season is starting from here. This is my starting point, and the training I feel like has got me there. Like just I've driven intensity and control to generate tension and generate force and generate load. So though it's not heavy, it's more efficient and it's still contracting. So yeah, all in all, training's fucking going unreal. And it's only, what are we in, a 4-day week block?
it's a six weeks post comp, 4 weeks training. Is that right?
Like week 5 this week.
No, there you go.
6 weeks post comp, 5 weeks of training. The first week I just fucked around.
You think I'd know? I really don't. People think like my clients think I know when they're programmed. Like I don't know. Like I write hundreds of programs. Yeah, like fuck, it's in your tracker. Like what week of the program you're on.
Yeah,
like,
I'll look. It's like The Simpsons when Homer reads the homework the day before Lisa does.
Yeah. It's like I need to know what week. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, 5 weeks at sort of that level of training, and it's only 4 days a week. Like I've only trained once this week. I've done cardio and steps yesterday and today, but I've got so much on with work and business and stuff that I was like, I'll just put training in the back end of the week. I've got Olympia and stuff on the weekend, so I'm going to chill out and get training done for that. But yeah, no, overall, training's going good. Food's going good. Sitting at what, like 30, 35, 36, I think it is, like 3,600. So yeah, it's man, it's funny. I know we sort of talked about it last week. I talked about a few people now, but like you'd honestly think though nationals was 6 weeks ago, and I got fucking 4th in the country in my division of what we're doing in my category. It would honestly feel like it was 2 years ago. It's just like the interest is gone. Like it's why I push people not to get so caught up with like whether or not they get recognized or attention from it. Is like the notoriety has gone so quickly. And it's not to say that I'm mad or anything like that. I don't give a fuck whether that's there. It's just funny how like it is that way, just how it is. But yeah, so that's that. I mean, we got that going on, and had some catch ups with the accountants this week, and we start to build out the rest of the Matter group, and we pretty much start the process from tomorrow to build out the company. So it'll stop being a sole trader enterprise and start being a PTY Ltd.
Well, hello, welcome to the big leagues.
Yeah, start getting to the big boy stuff where we start having the fun conversations and the lectures and seminars, and we've got it mapped out now. We'll have the Matter coaching. We've got a few plans for who's going to come under me in the new year, and we'll start to sell the system and know that you're getting a systemized approach as opposed to just like you work with me. Then we'll start to have the online institute side. So I've got 10 days over Christmas I'm going to give myself to finish off the rest of the course, because I did most of the content during prep. I just didn't have the energy to talk about it. So I'll actually sit down in front of the camera and actually start to get it done. I'll get you to double back over it and look over some things and make sure that it makes sense and kind of how I do things. And then we'll start to push those. And then we'll have the marketing and media management side that'll come in, that'll start to teach people like we want to look at a few I guess package options, like things like corporate education and seminars, like teaching people how to market and on top of that, like teaching how to eat, train better, be less shit in the office. It's weird to me how little corporate understands that improved health, improved nutrition, improved training leads to better energy and capacity at work. So you do better at your job. You have better cognitive function, so you'll be able to last longer instead of this like bullshit 3 o'clock window crash that is just what happens. No, it happens because you ate fucking one meal in 5 days and the rest are just pingers and chocolate cake.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, I don't feel very good in the office. I might go home. I crashed. I haven't done any work since 1 p.m. If you don't do any work after 1 p.m. 5 days a week, you've literally lost a day's worth of work. Why would you not want to optimize your fucking staff to be better? So
it's funny. It's like it's a cyclical effect, like everything in life. We work in cycles. Who would have thought?
Legit. If you eat like shit, sleep like shit, train like shit, drink all the shit food, and drink all the shit alcohol and eat all the shit food, and then you come to work and you wonder why you feel like shit, you're probably not going to be very efficient at your job. So yeah, we're going to try and like crank into that market and get that happening. And there's a few other things in the works we have with some pro athletes next year. That's going to be pretty exciting to talk about when it finally happens. I'm just kind of, I don't know, finishing the year off on a fucking high. It's awesome. It's a good place.
I like it. Simples.
Have everything sort of enterprise and companied for tomorrow, and I'll be director of operations or whatever you call it. I don't know.
Just all of it. It's really, people are kind of like, it's funny. I remember going from like that sole trader to
Yeah.
company, and everyone's it's like you feel so like professional. It's really you just charge everything to your business account. Like
Yeah.
that's the perk.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing? I'm gonna go get food. Business expense. Why? Because I need to live to run my business.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
these
oh,
medicals you keep paying for, business expense. If I die,
like,
the
oh,
business is working.
going for group coffee. It's all right, business expense. That's why every time I come up, I put all like our lunches and dinners on my business card, and then my
We need
accountant's like,
$500 worth of sushi.
yeah.
Business expense. You have
Then
20 people? No, three.
then my accountant's like, dude, you can't keep doing it. Yeah, that's a you problem, not me.
It sounds like a you
I
thing. I'm
pay
paying
you to
for.
make this work. Do it.
Yeah.
You have one job.
Yeah. I caught up with my guy today. It's cool because like the team I have of people that have sort of helped me like where I am, like I think I've had him now for 7 years since I first got my first property and started my first business. So it's cool to sort of sit down and be like, this is where I know when I first sort of mapped out the plans and told people like, oh, these are like 10-year plans, focus on this aspect first. And it's been a year and I'm like, right now, these are the plans.
Yeah,
this is what's
100%.
next. You don't get to tell me the time frame of this. This is what we do now. This is
Yeah.
what's happening. So
100%.
yeah, no, it's fucking cool. How you doing? How's golf? How's the swing? How's new clubs?
Good. Yeah, everything's going nicely. It's wet. So it's like every time. So a guy I played with this morning, we're just kind of like, we always go out. We always have the intention of having like a semi-serious round where we're going to play actually properly. Problem is when like everything's wet and fairways, like the ball doesn't run out, it plugs. It's like you got to pick it up and clean up. We're not pros. We're kind of like, fuck it, swing.
Happy Gilmore, send it.
Like
Swing for the trees.
it's like 280 par four. I can drive the green, no stress. Like fucking go. Now, would I usually play that? No. I'd put one out, put a little shot in, give myself a chance for birdie. Fuck it, hero shot, send it. Like,
Makes sense.
but yeah, so it's kind of like we're trying to semi-play in the last couple of holes we played, properly. But like it's just because of the rain. We're just like, oh fuck it. And then the funny thing is we played about an hour outside of Melbourne, so it's like it's pouring down in the city. Driving out there, it's like pouring down, and then you get past like about 35 minutes out, and blue skies. You're like, what happened? And then you look back in your rearview mirror, and all you see is clouds and like darkness. You're like, that's what hell looks like. And you're driving into heaven.
That's fair.
Yeah, like you're driving into the sunshine and driving away from like the clouds and the rain and shit. Absolutely cooked, bro. Like
Like that episode of The Simpsons when Maggie, like the Flanders try to adopt Maggie, and
Yeah.
they go to like the blessing. What do you call it when they get baptized?
Baptized,
in the river? And like Maggie looks back and hears like Homer and Lisa and Bart, and it's just like doom and gloom. And then she
Literally.
looks back at Flanders, and it's just like rainbows
Yeah,
and
yeah.
sunshine.
It's literally what it was like driving out to this course today. Fucking hell, man.
Yeah, there's a Simpsons anecdote for everything.
100%. There's literally every situation in life the Simpsons are covered.
Yeah, they've pre-predicted it.
Yeah.
They probably know that matter exists. They probably got,
100%.
they probably got a story for it.
Probably. Let's see if it goes well. No, we're but yeah, back into training as well, which is nice. Getting a pump, dropping some body fat,
Oof.
leading up to Dubai, and then I think I'll probably still diet while I'm in Dubai, so it's not a big deal. For me, just got to get steps in and shit, but that's easy when you're playing a ton of golf.
I mean, you don't have to eat like an asshole just you're on holidays.
Nah, plus it's too expensive. Oh, it's not that it's too expensive. It's just, it's actually not too bad to eat in Dubai, to be honest. Like, it's pretty easy. Like, they've got obviously all your fast food chains and stuff, and they've got like all the American ones.
Yeah.
They've got like, Five Guys and all that sort of stuff there, which is pretty cool. I had that last time I went. But yeah, they've got your little usual food stops and stuff like that where you just get some decent food. So that's all I'll be doing. I'm just playing a ton of golf, so getting a ton of steps in, which is going to be awesome. As well as, some work and revamp. End of year, as we always do, business analysis, go through what worked, what didn't, and all that sort of shit, change some shit. So excited for the new year, which would be good. And get everyone up and about and kick it on. And
yeah, we've got a few combined education pieces to put together.
We do. We've got to organize those. Yes.
Yeah, we got requested from Trav to do Sydney. It was like, is it Trav? I think it was Trav. He said come to Sydney, and I was like, okay,
yeah,
make
cool.
that happen.
Could do that. So we'll put some shit together for next year and do some seminar series and training shit. And see how we go. It should be fun.
Yeah,
should be all good. But yeah, I got on board some clients. I got a couple of consults that came through, which were interesting. I haven't really advertised for new clients because I keep forgetting that. I'm really bad at that. I keep forgetting. Like, honestly, I get messages from people like, "Oh, are you taking on clients?" I'm like, "Yes." I keep forgetting. Like, I'm never not. It's like the books are kind of always sort of open, and it's kind of like I'll either make it work if I really want to work with you, or if I don't, I'll like definitely refer you on to someone that I know will believe that would be a better fit for you. So it's like I never remember to advertise. Like I'm really bad at that. But anyway,
You don't have 2 spots left, and everything else is at capacity.
100%. Like I've got 25,000 spots left, so just jump in and give you a cookie cutter program, and we'll give you a macro calculator to work out your shit. Charge you $100 a month because you're not getting anything from me, but we'll do 2,000 people at a month, and we're good.
Well, I was actually surprised that
Make them bank.
that piece I put up I actually got some decent interactions. So I'm gonna do some more of them. Just like it's an aggressive approach, but at the same time, the problems I'm getting with consults, well, not problems. We've talked about it before. The issues that are coming to me from people for consults, and I'm not fucking claiming to be an absolute genius of a coach. I just think there's a bare minimum standard, and I'm getting people that like come in that are like, I would pay more for this, and it's not even a bare minimum. It's like this bare minimum is like, what are you doing? And I'm like, this is just how you start. What do you mean? Like you have spreadsheets and data and collect information. Like what? So like when people just giving away like macros and thinking that's the be all end all, and like, yo, here's some macros for you. Like, I'll charge you $60 a week for that. Like, I can give you a fucking calculator for that. If that's what you want. You just ask me, I'll give you the fucking calculator.
Well, yeah, 100%.
It's not anything. You can go to any Google like macro or calorie equation worker outer, and you'll literally
worker outer because English.
and you'll get it for free, and you're paying people like $60 for this. Like, hold your food for 2 weeks, track what you eat, see what your calories are on average, and decrease it by 10%. Boom, done. You're losing fat. Like, that isn't coaching. That's just numbers and fucking making a sum equation.
Yeah, I was having this conversation with one of my clients yesterday because it's funny. Like one of my other clients had posted up finally that she was training again, and I said, "Oh, it's good to see you back training," because she'd been away for a week and stuff, and then she got sick and like whatever. Just trying to be, the supportive coach. It's really weird. I don't like it, but whatever.
Bullshit.
Yeah. And then she's like, "Yeah, like it's good, being back." And she's like, "I was actually going to message." I'm like, "It's fine. Like I've had you for nearly, I think, over a year." I'm like, "I know, like it's all good." And then I'm like, "Just get ready." Because there's no more excuses. Like uni student finishing uni, so it's like I like don't get me wrong, I get it. Like we've all I get it. Yeah, I get it. But now it's kind of like how many times do we let things get in the way? That's kind of like there are going to be times where there's legitimate excuses, legitimate reasons to not be able to do something, adhere to something. And that's fine. Like we work with that. Like that's okay. But how many times do we let things get in the way or use them as a crux to get in the way? And it's like that's where I'm sort of like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to allow that or enable that anymore. I just turned around and literally told all my clients, I'm like, from next year, okay, we got like 2 weeks till Christmas. I'm like, as always, we wind down to Christmas. We don't need to be sort of focusing on the dieting and stuff like that because we don't have anything that we're focusing on. It's all good. Like, just keep to the structure. We'll be fine. But come, new year when our goals kick in, like for whatever person that is, like powerlifting, bodybuilding, whatever, like there is literally like zero tolerance. Like, I am going back to being a dick. Like,
good.
Sorry, guys. Like, it's just this is what we're doing. Like, I've been too lenient. It's like I'm just reining it in. It's like too fucking bad. Like, this is it. And they're all like really excited because they're like, I think they kind of miss it.
Yeah.
A lot of them kind of miss it. I was speaking to one of my clients. He's like, yeah, he goes, good. He goes, I'm sick of like you letting me do what I want. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna stop that.
Fuck all of you. You're paying me to be told what to do.
Yeah, I'm sick of this shit. Like,
yeah.
But anyway, we'll see how we go. Should be fun.
I agree. I think I'm going to be in a very similar premise. Like, there's looseness of the reins, and then there's like being taken advantage of, and there's like gaps where it's like I've let people like certain people go now just because weeks went by where it was just no interaction. I was like, I feel ethically questionable taking money, but at the same time, like I was putting the work to still make sure there was a check-in available, there was program updates, there was whatever. Like, this is what you said you wanted to go, so here's a program. You're not getting back to me, yada yada. Like, cool. Like if that's the case, like that's time, stress, and energy that I could be putting into someone else in my business or other people. And it's just like I can't lead you any more to water to make you want to drink.
Yeah, exactly right.
You have to start drinking the fucking water and drinking the Kool-Aid and going, I want this now. And we say like, not every client, I'm sick of seeing it, but not every client is a bodybuilder who needs to be extreme. No, you're right. But if you come to me with an intense goal and a duration of which you want to achieve it, or you just simply say, hey, look, I want to have this composition in the next 2 years and this is what I want to do. And we look at that and you're fucking 140 kegs overweight and you're saying, I want to be fucking sub 10, I want to be under 100. The times where it's like this refeed happens and this happens and I did this and I didn't and this and this, and it's like, nah, like that's not how it works.
That's just it. If you're just because you're not a bodybuilder, or the client's not a, I guess, bodybuilder specific, if they have a goal that is, I guess, almost similar to a bodybuilder or a bodybuilding prep or powerlifting prep, whatever it is, it requires the same effort from the client.
I'm sick of this notion that we're just the extremity, so therefore that's the only people who need to be committed.
Because, well, I mean, Gen Pop, I guess Gen Pop goals on average, I would say, are probably way more unrealistic than those that do either bodybuilding, powerlifting, strongman, whatever it is. Because
I'd agree.
You see, they're involved in the sport. Gen Pop are kind of like, I want to lose 20 kilos in 5 weeks because they did it on The Biggest Loser. That's like, oh, okay. Not their fault. I'm not like, it's not like I'm blaming Gen Pop as a whole. It's kind of like, it's just that a lot of the goals are unrealistic. And then as they start to go through the process and, take time, a lot of the time, these clients or these people are sort of like, well, I wish this was faster. I wish this was that. I thought it was going to be this. It's like you start to manage their expectations and like, their realistic expectations. And you're like, okay, well, this is a totally different thing. However, I will still treat them above a Gen Pop person because their goals aren't Gen Pop.
No.
Like a Gen Pop goal is what? Train, get to the gym 3-4 times a week, train and eat semi-healthy. Don't worry about your weight. Don't worry about anything else. Like, just try and live a healthy lifestyle. And that's great. I love that.
The second you deviate from that, it stops being the same. It's a different population.
Yeah. If you want to start saying, well, now I want to lose 5 kilos. It's like, okay, well, you have a specific goal. I'm not going to treat you like you're just living a healthy lifestyle or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm going to treat you a little bit more, a little bit differently because, well, you have a goal. And then obviously the more extreme the goal, the more extreme coaching, or the more extreme we look after the client. And that's kind of the art of coaching,
formula. Right? I sort of have this formula that I'm trying to work out to articulate in a way that I can actually framework and display, but sort of like the greater the intensity of your goal, the greater the greater the degree of speed you wish to achieve it, the greater the degree of intensity and sacrifice you have to make to get it.
Yeah.
And you have to work inversely from that. The second those things come into the equation, like you have a time frame, you have a specific goal, you have a life that you're currently living, and that current life didn't get you to that goal yet, which is why you're coming to me or say yourself, you now have to have a good hard look at, okay, this was the goal I had and what I've said. Is my current living style or standards or behaviors or routines in accordance with that outcome I'm trying to achieve? And what do I have to remove to make that happen in that time frame? And obviously, the longer the length, obviously, the less sacrifices per se you might have to make because you have more room for error. But also, the more freedom you give yourself and the less, as coaches, if we treat them more freely or loosely, the less accountability there is to that timeline and the less that's required to achieve it, because then it just becomes like, I'll do that next week. I'll do that next week.
Exactly.
If you tell me you want this, and then, the actions that you're reporting to me are incongruent with that goal, that outcome, the whole like, you're totally okay how you are, fucking, as long as you're all feeling good about it. No, fucking bullshit. No.
Yeah.
You're paying us for a service.
It's not why you're coming.
That is what you're getting.
100%.
I'm going to drill that into you. I'm not going to drill into you have to get on stage, but I'm going to treat you like someone that wants to improve their physique and train hard.
Yeah.
If you say to me that you're not feeling muscle groups, or this muscle isn't growing, or this food isn't fucking working, or I'm not getting leaner, then I see Macca's, Hungry Jack's, Untracked KFC, Untracked donuts and cakes. Like, I can make that fit. I can make that work with you. We can fit that in and practice how to include it. But also, the more you do this, the further from your goal you get. And this is going to be the same thing when I shared that story yesterday for New Year's. When I see the absolutists, the people encourage, like, what do you want for New Year's? Like, what are you going to do for your New Year's resolution? I'm going to stop drinking forever and never have a takeout again. Fucking bullshit.
Yeah,
if you've 100%. Never done that in your life, you are not doing that
100%.
For January 1st.
Right.
If you've never done a bodybuilding comp, you just going straight from zero to prep is about the dumbest thing you can fucking do. Because you haven't done anything to improve the lifestyles and the system to get you to that stage.
Yeah, it's like
it's not going to work.
It's like people saying diet starts Monday. It's like, no, it doesn't. Never does. No, it doesn't.
Never does.
Don't lie. Shut up.
I'm gonna binge Saturday to Sunday to make up for the fact I'm starting Monday.
I'm gonna get rid of all the food in my house so I'm not tempted on a Monday.
Let me just have all those picnics and Snickers and Kit Kats and the fucking donuts and the cakes I went and bought for that exact reason.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what else would be better if you just didn't buy them?
100%.
But hey, that'll make us the assholes because we're not body positive or fucking what was it?
I feel like that is body positive.
Yeah, do you ever find like here's a conundrum.
Perspective.
Yeah, here's a conundrum, right? Here's a conundrum I always find. Body positivity is only in the presence or relevance to someone who's largely overweight.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like the second you start saying that, like if body positivity is supposed to be acceptance and acceptability of your physique or your body and how you live, just because someone is training or dieting or trying to recomposition or get shredded doesn't mean they aren't body positive. You can't make that assumption.
They're just trying to say that it's okay to be fat. You should feel great. When in reality, like, sure, if that's what you want to be, hey, all power to you. If you want to be healthier and live a longer life, which has been shown in the research, the bigger you are, the sooner you die. Unfortunate, that's life. Then maybe you should do something about it. It's really that simple. I'm neither here nor there. I don't care what you.
Yeah, don't give a fuck what you do.
Yeah, do what you want. I don't give a fuck.
Don't go saying that like because someone is dieting, they're not body positive, and you are.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that was a fun rant, but
yeah, good.
I was going to talk about social media, but I mean, close enough.
Yeah, I mean,
well, it's fun. I'm sure the listeners have seen this many a time. Now, this whole anonymous Q&A thing that's been going on for the last 6 months, whatever it's been, like. I've never put one up. I've never asked a question. So I don't care, but they are quite funny to like read every now and then, depending on who the person is, right?
Yeah.
And who you're interacting with. But like, and some questions on these things to people are like they're phenomenal. They're like, oh, like you have no balls to ask that question to that person.
Oh,
like,
yeah, for sure.
In a direct DM. Like, you know what I mean? The funny thing is, and what I see constantly are people that will put up a question, like they'll reply to the question, respond to the question. So they, share the question and then don't actually answer it. I don't get it. It's like the biggest one is like, there's a couple of girls, I'm not going to name names, that keep getting asked if they're on steroids. Not that I care if they are or they're not. And I think most of us don't really care if they are or they're not, but they'll put up the question. So the person's asked them, hey, are you on gear? And then they reply with, I'm not going to answer this. I think it's a personal choice either way. I'm not, I'm neither here nor there, blah, 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 but very diplomatic answer. Dickhead. The whole point of an anonymous Q&A is that you answer the questions. You know how you avoid that? Just don't share the question and answer it.
No one has to know that question was asked.
Yeah, I don't get people.
But also, just saying, in the context where people think that no answer is no answer, it's often time where no answer is an answer.
Yeah, regardless, but it's like, just don't share the question.
Oh, yeah, that too. Like, you wouldn't have to even defend it.
Don't put the question up and say you're not going to answer it. Just don't answer it.
Yeah. Or just say, hey, on an anonymous Q&A, also not talking about steroids.
When you put it like questions I won't answer, blah, 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 blah.
Do that.
Yeah, like, fuck, man.
Ask what you want about my personal life or my relationships or my business.
Yeah, I just don't understand. And I'm like, is this because, like, do you have to answer? Like, does every question have to pop up? Like, I don't know. I've never done it. Yeah, I don't know. I've never used it. So in my head, maybe it's like you can't get to the next question without at least posting that. I don't know. If anyone's listening, let me know if you've done it. I have no fucking clue. Mm-hmm. But don't get asked a question, post the question, and then not answer it if you have the choice of not answering it. Like, what's the fucking point?
Yeah. Just as a funny little like reverberation to that, because people think that no answer is not an answer. When we see the moral dilemma train equation, no choice is still a choice if you don't make a choice to kill someone on the train track. Just because you haven't answered the question, you deliberately say no answer, it generally is. Empirically, it's implied that is some sort of an answer. I can debilitate from that. You've meant this. So just saying.
Like, it's like you put up just a normal Q&A, and it's like you ask me a question, and if I don't want to post the question, I just don't post the question.
Well, yeah, I can select which ones I reply to.
Right. I'm not going to post.
Is an answer I can answer. There you go.
I'm not going to post your question and be like, I'm not going to answer this question.
Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of? Remember back in the day when people end up in like hospital and they post a photo of them in hospital, not how I expected my night to go, nothing else.
Yeah.
No details, nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
everyone please check on me without me saying.
Not what happened.
Yeah.
Like, are you okay? No.
Yeah.
I didn't
think
my
night
would,
guys. It was just something simple. No.
Like
how I expect my night to go. Here's the bandage. Everyone messaged me for attention.
In hell, man.
If you want
I don't
attention, there's other
understand. I
ways to
don't
do it.
understand people.
Yeah, social media's made an interesting way. It's interesting. I
It's
often
like
think
this.
like what would have
Go.
happened? You know how like when technologies occur and there's like there's a pivot point where life would have continued and it made a difference, and
Yeah,
now
yeah,
this is the new norm.
yeah.
I wonder what life would be like in the 2000s had these social platforms not existed and we just kept it to things like forums or like just general
Just
information forums or like talk
imagine
boards.
if we just stuck to Nokia 3310s.
Oh,
What a simple life.
what a simple time.
Fucking snake all the way.
People just would have no fucking idea. No more
No,
dick pics.
no,
Damn.
nothing. You have to create your own ringtones. You had to go find
You
which
had to
numbers.
save and
You had
listen to the fucking song
you had
playing
to
on the
go. You
computer.
had to try and find which keys on the actual phone made the
Yep.
sounds for that ringtone, and then you had to play them in order.
Or there was fucking songs. There was ads at like 11 o'clock at night on TV that would say, text this number to buy this fucking this ringtone. You kids these days with fucking Netflix and Apple TV, you have no idea.
No fucking clue, man.
Not a clue.
Not at all. And it's funny. It's kind of like the whole premise of like, ranting on social media. You know how people get really annoyed when other people unfollow them? Like, I don't understand the premise. Like,
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
like don't get me wrong. Like, if you put up shit that I didn't like to visually see,
Yeah.
I would happily unfollow you. You know
Yeah.
why? Because I don't want to see your shit.
Yeah,
Now,
that's fair.
does that mean I'm not your friend? No.
Yeah.
You can still message me and do whatever you like.
Mhm.
It just means I don't see your shit. Yeah, people will be like, oh yeah, you can now mute and all that sort of shit, which you can now. You couldn't
Yep.
then. But like,
Yep.
just the premise. It's like because I unfollow, well, not me, but in general, because you unfollow someone, apparently it implies that you don't like them or you're not friends with them.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's social media. It's the beauty of social media.
Yeah.
I can control what I see.
Yeah. Like there's just sometimes there's some people who just do like 40,000 stories in a day. I don't care about every detail of your
Oh,
session.
bro,
Put some
100%.
exercises up. Tell me like about it. It was great, whatever. I'm all for lifting. But like every set of every session with fucking shit in between, like I don't need to see it. I don't care. I'm not at your gym session training like shit. I'd rather do my session.
100%.
But like an interesting point from that though, and like continuing from that whole like unfollow follow shit, the thing that surprises me now when it gets into like discourse and conversation is people find it hard to believe that you can separate someone's dumb idea from the rest of their ideas and still like the person.
Yeah.
That is mind-boggling. I don't know how.
Yeah.
Like I am an avid follower of Jordan Peterson. I literally have spent hundreds of dollars and hours upon hours of my life. There are some things he has said around dieting where I'm like, as long as you keep this about yourself and not as a prescription to others, I don't care.
Yeah,
But that doesn't null and void the rest of your points.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're entitled to your own opinion on things. Like you are a
Yeah.
human, but doesn't
Yeah.
mean I need to agree with them.
Yeah,
Like,
and that also doesn't mean I have to hate everything else you've
yeah,
said.
exactly right. It's just it's quite funny how people seem to associate social media with like the actual person, and a lot of the time, social media was created literally as an avatar. It's kind of like, hey, this isn't necessarily me. Like this is maybe my projected vision of me or who I would like to be. Or you have those like us who just run a business. It's like, what you see on my Instagram, you don't see personal shit. You know why? Because it's a fucking business thing. Because you know why? My personal life is just that.
Yeah.
Personal. Like I don't need I've got what, nearly 5,000 followers. Like I'm famous, but like they don't need to see what I'm doing. Like I don't need to show them every little bit.
Yeah.
Like it's just really funny how people now, like I could hear it in the gym the other day when I was training and stuff, and people that I've been talking to are just like, so and so unfollowed this person, or I've been unfollowed, or I unfollowed them, and they crack the shit. It's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Like that's what's getting you going for your day. Like that's what stirred you up. Like it's fucking Instagram. Who cares?
I've taught this to some of my boys when we go through like stress management. It's the fucking How I Met Your Mother 7 or higher.
Yeah.
Eventually life start when you can tell when someone's been through the shit, because at a certain point, and yes, everyone's perception or understanding of, or even criteria of what a 7 is different. But like you start to know pretty quickly that something's a 7 or higher. Like when you start to go through the shit and you've been in the trenches of just life, you stop being fucking concerned with shit about whether or not someone unfollowed you or followed you. Like, yeah, sure, I like to put out content and stuff, and like, oh, the reach is getting bigger. That's great. And like these things are being noticed. But I'm also like, I know just as much that I get excited if one person liked an information piece and I get a message later on being like, hey, I saw your fucking shit, and like 2 people liked it. Fucking sick. I don't care.
Yeah.
The amount of followers I lost when I started sharing like personal stuff sorry, when I started sharing education and training shit. But now I'm actually more around talking to people that are interested in what I have to say and educate on and share about.
You're using your platform for a purpose. It's to
Yeah,
bring business and educate
exactly.
others. It's like it's not you entirely. It's
Yeah,
a
but if you
it
don't
is
give a
a
fuck about that,
yeah, it's a section of you.
yeah. And if you don't give a fuck about that, I don't care.
Yeah,
Like there is more in my life going on and more things I'm trying to take care of to make sure that a fucking growing business takes off and I get my degree and my education and relationships around me and the clients that I take care of. I more care about them. Like a client messaging me about fucking certain things and things that go on in their life and like I need to stop what I'm doing, go be there for them and take like help out, be around them, train, fucking something like that, take them to how I de-stress or whatever. That stuff to me is a lot more of a 7 than being like, well, fucking this person unfollowed. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
if that person unfollowed, the likelihood of them signing up or benefiting from me is probably pretty low. So I don't care.
It's like
I don't have anything to help offer them to help.
Yeah, it's like social media is literally running people's lives. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
bro, like there is life away from social media. No, I'm not even saying your phone. Like I'm talking about social media, like Facebook, Instagram, all that sort of stuff. But like, don't get me wrong, like a lot of us like being online coaches and probably a lot of listeners that do online coaching or are online coaches, it's like, yeah, we obviously need our phones. Like, yeah, people are like, yeah, you're addicted to your phone. And it's like, yeah, okay. So I guess if that's how you view it, sure. I want to throw my phone through a wall 9 times out of 10 during the day. As soon as it goes off, I want to throw it through a wall. Now, usually it's probably you messaging me or something like that. So that's fine. And it's kind of like, it's just, but it's just like, it's notification after notification. But hold on. I'm an online coach for a fucking living. Like, how do people contact me? Yeah, on my fucking phone. Like how it works. So yeah, you know what I mean? But the actual apps themselves and being on social media and being so intertwined in anything, like I get more frustrated at people getting annoyed that people unfollow them.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Than the actual like problem itself. Like the person's viewpoint on the problem is what makes me mad.
It tells me you're so emotionally immature in an app that you think that's significant.
Yeah, it's either that or it's like just understanding that there is much, much more to life.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like
than literally social media, like than Instagram and Facebook.
When you start to go through things and shit will actually, like if that is what you're deeming is important to be upset about right now, there will come a point in time where life bends you over the fucking bed and rapes you. Now, that to me is the scary part because you could be like, these people are still adults. Like they're 21 to fucking 30. Like they have the right to vote. They have the right to put fucking information out. They have the right to, drink, drive, read, shoot guns, whatever they want to do. And that is what you are deeming is important enough to be worked up about emotionally. Holy fuck. The day that comes where you get bent over is going to be it's going to feel like you've been hit by a wall because that 100%. Shit will happen. You haven't even been close to it yet. The things that are still yet to happen, if that's what you're worked up about, that should be a nothing on your fucking 1 to 10 scale. And you're like, well, fuck, this has ruined my whole day. It fucking shouldn't even be on your day. It shouldn't even be a care.
No, it's literally just a small fucking facet of your life.
Man, one of the like a pastime of mine, if you will, is that I fucking love history. I love like World War II and World War One and like European history.
Don't say that again. You get banned on Instagram.
Yeah, sorry. Again. And one of the things that I found yesterday, the other day, I was just watching a bit about European population decline. There is currently a blip in the demographic Christmas tree of Russia and Ukraine in terms of like where we had the baby boomers and we had Gen X and Gen Y. The statistical probability, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you were a man in World War II in the Soviet Union, there was a 1 in 3% chance you died by the age of 23. There was less than a 1 in 3 chance that you made it past 50. If you were born between 1920 and 1925, the likelihood is that you died under 30 years old because that many men were drafted and forced to fight to the point now that it's impacted their economic decline because of their production of the reproduction of population. So like when you're getting amped up about like shit like that, I just want to stop people and just perspective shit. Just imagine
hit him with a random fact.
Just hit him with a random fact about fucking Stalingrad or the Soviet Union. Like, look, if this is what you are upset about, just remember. And I say this.
It's like just think if we were in Mother Russia.
I got told this was too extreme once, and I laughed. But it was like a fact. During the Stalingrad, the Battle of Stalingrad, the 3-year onslaught basically went on during like the frozen winters and that sort of shit. The populations who didn't manage to escape Stalingrad got frozen in and encircled and trapped by the Germans. Their total calorie intake for a day was 800 calories, of which came from a bread loaf that was made between sawdust, human feces, and yeast.
Delicious.
That was what they lived on for like 2 years at like 800 calories. So that there was literally cannibalism in the city because there's nothing else to do. You could not eat. And it was either that or you died. And I'm like, when you tell me that you're hungry and you're starving, I'm like, there's a degree of difference between hungry and you are starving, because the human body, when it starves, will eat fecal matter.
Yeah.
I don't think you're eating fecal matter yet. And it's just like little things like that where I'm like, people just haven't, I don't know, not people, like, you don't know what you don't know. And I get that. You don't understand what you don't understand. But when you hit that perspective shift, you're just like, am I really doing it that tough that this is what's stressing me out? I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, but that's obvious. It's like I have a roof over my head and I get to sleep in a bed. I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get into questions
Fair cop.
because we have some funny ones.
Oh,
so
good.
I decided to throw up. Did you throw up a Q&A? You didn't, did you? You had
No,
one
I
job.
was at my meeting and I fucked up. I forgot.
You had one job. Anyway, I thought I'd throw up the usual Q&A and then ask for dad jokes because I know how much you like a dad joke.
I do.
You did. So, why did the guitar teacher get arrested?
Why?
For fingering a minor.
Yes.
That's what we're starting with. That's what we're starting with.
Yeah, that's the win. That one wins.
What did the great? This is actually from a dad, by the way. So these next two are genuine dad jokes.
Good man.
What did the grape say when he got squashed?
What?
Nothing. He just let out a little whine.
I knew it was going to involve wine.
Yeah, it had something to do with wine. When does a joke become a dad joke? When it becomes apparent, or is it apparent?
Yeah, you've ruined the delivery. It's apparent.
That's apparent, but you wouldn't have got it if I said it.
No, I would, because I saw it coming.
No, did you though? All right, so this is definitely not a dad joke, but anyway. I mean, this is how it starts. It says dad joke, a pedo.
A Jew, a priest, and a rabbi.
Literally, a pedo, a rapist, and a priest walk into a bar. He orders a beer.
Shit, we're cancelled.
Yeah, not sure if that's supposed to be a dad joke per se, but I'm going to allow it. Oh, here we go. Fuck, marry, kill. This should be fun.
Right.
Snap Fitness, Jets, and Anytime Fitness.
Oh,
I'll kill Jets.
Yeah, I'm killing Jets.
I'm probably going to marry. Oh, this is really tricky. I'd probably marry Anytime, depending on which one it is. Like the one behind my house is like the biggest in the Southern Hemisphere.
Yeah.
They've got everything. They even have a Cybex hack.
Win.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like, I'm marrying Anytime and then I'm just going to fuck Snap because...
Yeah, Snap I feel like is a stepping stone to an Anytime, and Anytime is a stepping stone towards like getting somewhere good.
Yeah, 100%. What did one hat say to the other? Stay here, I'm going on ahead. Yeah, dad jokes. People really get into their dad jokes, man.
Why are Mexicans so introspective and aware of psychology?
Why?
Because it takes one to know one.
Yeah, of course it does. Okay, an actual real question.
All right.
Actually, no, it's not. Take that back. Should you stay with your coach if you have bigger legs than them?
Is that one of my clients?
Yes.
Get fucked. He's a first place leg, bitch.
Do sugar-free Powerades work, or does the body need the sugar to help break down or take in the other stuff?
No, it's just electrolytes. So it's literally just flavored water with electrolytes.
Yeah, think of like EAAs in a sense without the density of an EAA powder.
Yeah.
It's like they tried, but they failed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. Anyway. Behind the head lat pull downs, do anything different to the front? Okay, so do they do anything different to the front? I mean, yeah, they do. The problem is most people don't have the mobility to go back behind the neck, especially without doing any sort of shoulder damage.
Yeah.
I'm actually not a fan of them. I never have been. I know there are coaches that will say, you know, like you are meant to move in that plane of motion and all that sort of stuff, which, yeah, okay. I mean, I can see the argument for it. And I guess potentially a goal to getting to that position, maybe. Will it benefit the lat growth any more than the front? No. You'd actually be, I'd have to check. I'm fairly sure you can load to the front more than you can load to the back. And we know the mechanical tension is key in growth.
most people I see when they're executing this movement anyway, just end up in a fucking trap shrug, or if not like rhomboid squeeze.
Yeah, I mean, like they're pushing their head forward, they're
Yeah.
bashing like the top of their
Fucking
spine with the
ease
bar. You
longs.
just, yeah, like everything's sort of internally rotated and like, that's just shit. So,
Yeah.
I mean, do they do anything different? Slight, because it'd be really irresponsible to
Well,
say no.
like
But at the same
to get a
time,
little bit more
would I do
specific.
them? No.
Yeah. To get a little bit more specific to it, like look at what is the reasoning for your exercise selection. Stop just throwing in exercises for no reason. Are you trying to train a lat? Okay, well then what are you doing that for? Are you
Yeah.
generating enough stability? Are you isolating enough tension and mechanical tension in the muscle group? Is other things working to achieve that movement? Which for most people, when they're tight like that, is going to be the shrug and the trap and the rhomboid, and that's what's going on. So why are you doing it? Like,
Yeah, I reckon this person's just probably seen them in the gym or on
oh yeah,
Instagram,
sorry,
which
I
just
get that.
happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just sort of like, oh, I wonder, because remember back in the day, like, okay, guys, like showing our age right now, going behind the neck was the only way you could do all that pull down.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when you go to the gym and do all that pull down, you had to go behind the head because that was the
You
thing.
watch Generation Iron, there's Arnie,
Yeah.
Franco, and shit doing that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like crazy.
And then everyone, for some unknown reason, I can't remember who changed it. It's like, no, let's just go to the front. And then everyone started going to the front. And now people are sort of going back again. And it's kind of like, it's probably just going to be this wave and cycle of this shit happening. The leg press is the biggest ego piece of equipment. Agree or disagree? I mean, it depends on the person. I have seen some people do some dumb shit with a leg press.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, knee wrap and then load 500 plates for like not even a quarter rep. Kind of like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like, awesome. But then you got guys that load up like literally 900 kilos and do a full rep like Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
He actually had to have, I think people don't know, he actually had his leg press extended to put more plates on.
Yeah.
Like he had that custom built.
The hack, the pole extender.
Yeah. Like the original gym pin.
Yeah.
Like he had that put on his leg press so that he could put on more weight. But is it, I mean, sure, is it the biggest ego piece of equipment? Yeah, I think so. Like if you want to feel
it's probably one of the ones you can most safely load to be egotistical, because you can just simply like take the load, bend your knee a little bit, and then you can still lock out.
And if you have a decent leg press, it's actually got a stopper at the bottom, it kicks out so that even if you somehow manage to like break your shit, it should catch, hopefully. Jingle All the Way, Home Alone, Nightmare Before Christmas, which is the best Christmas movie.
Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way, Home Alone, Nightmare Before Christmas. Is that
Tim Allen or is that Arnie?
Arnie.
Yeah, Jingle All the Way is Arnie, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Jingle All the Way is Arnie.
Yeah.
Home Alone is Home Alone.
How is Die Hard not in this question though?
That's what I was thinking. Did you see Bruce Willis came out and said that Die Hard's not a Christmas movie?
Fuck off, Bruce Willis. You don't get a say.
Yeah, it's not like it's your movie.
Yeah.
Out of those, actually, I love Jingle All the Way. Don't get me wrong, but I do really love Home Alone. I'm gonna go Home Alone with those ones, I reckon.
The first one.
Yeah. The rest of them were shit after that.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, the second one wasn't too bad when they went to New York, but still, the first one's the best one. How do we deal with New Year's resolutionists that are about to flood gyms everywhere?
Yeah. I mean, like what? Okay, two things. Encourage them. If there are people at your gym, there's going to be a fuck ton of people that are not going to do movements properly because they've just got excited and they looked at themselves and gone, you know what, this 20-year life of binging, blah, blah, it's not really doing me well, or I feel like shit after the Christmas period. Statistically, they're not going to last. The first 4 weeks is when 80% of resolutions fail. Then the next 50%, I think, is in the next 7 weeks.
Yeah.
But if there's someone you know or there's someone that's actually trying to make a change, motivate them,
100%.
Them.
Yeah,
refer if you know they're not someone who's going to like know what to do or like have support or have someone around, refer them to people like us so that we can show them from the get-go. The biggest thing that I think is one of the attributes to us or the attractions to us is that we can shortchange the distance from what you know now to how long until you know what you need to know, because we didn't have that. There wasn't like this space where we first came up where it was like figure it out, read blogs, read articles, watch fucking bodybuilder videos and shit like that, where you see Honey Remboard talk about SST7 and other bullshit. Like, if you can get them to us or people like us or other coaches that may be similar to us in practice, they'll get support and they'll get encouragement. They'll also get kick up the ass and be like, all right, what you're doing, like, you don't need to do that. You don't need to be restricting takeaway and alcohol and all sort of shit. Like, you can still have some of it, but we need to show you how to include it in a way that is progressive to your goal. That is going to be far more likely to sustain the enjoyment in the process, which will then build intrinsic motivation, which will keep them going longer than 4 weeks. So, exactly. In essence, refer out.
Yeah. I mean, pretty straightforward.
But also show them. Like, the thing I fucking hate is when people get antsy about like someone asking how long they got to go. The guy came up to me before I was doing a superset because that's what part of the program is now. There's a guy, hey man, like how many sets you got left? I was like, oh, dude, I'm just doing a superset, but like feel free to jump in, like take the set.
Yeah.
Like, what does that matter? Who gives a
Yeah,
fuck?
exactly
I'm not a
right.
prick because I'm saying I've got a superset. He's not a prick for asking. So just say, hey, bro,
Yeah.
I'm going to superset this. Jump in while I'm resting.
Yeah, and it's the other side to that is you can ask respectively.
Yeah.
Respectably. Jeez, I can't even speak
Respectively,
English. Yeah, respectably. Like you can literally go up and just say, like, hey mate, just wondering, no rush, just how many
Yeah.
sets you got left, just wondering. It's like short of how many sets you got.
Yeah.
Like there's a difference. Like, be polite.
Yeah.
I've asked people how many sets they've had, and they're like, I've got 3. I'm like, no stress. And they're like, oh, I'll hurry up. I was like, no, all good. I'll go do another
Yeah.
exercise and I'll come back. Don't stress. It's all good,
Yeah.
man. Like,
Yeah,
it's
you can
okay.
Yeah. Most of the time, I tell people like, but besides my probably first 2 exercises for most people, it's not so exclusive that they can't tweak order of selection if it means it gets the job done.
Exactly right. It's like when you're getting down to like a leg extension, like please,
Yeah.
you can swap it. You're fine.
Yeah.
Fuck, marry, kill. Pit stop, 12 round, or strength zone. And I don't know if that's supposed to be strong zone as in my gym. So I don't know. Is there a gym called strength zone besides mine? Like, is there a chain gym? Because the other 2 are chain gyms.
Yeah, I don't know. Hang on.
Doing a Google search. Because if he means strong zone, I'm obviously going to marry the strong zone. Like it's my gym. Dickhead.
Strength zone training. Strength zone training. No, it's a blueprint. It's a training model. So I'm guessing they mean strength, like they mean your gym. Yeah, I can't see.
Yeah.
Well, strength zone London, strength zone. That's an app, or it's like a website.
Okay,
so I'm guessing they mean your gym.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, I'll fuck Fitstop because Fitstop is decent.
Yeah.
12 rounds, I'm going to kill 12 rounds because no one needs 12 rounds. And I'm obviously going to marry my gym. Like, come on.
That's fair.
But the question is, what are you going to do, bitch?
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I actually like Fitstop. We've had Josh on here and I've known Josh for a long time. It's one of the few that before you had yours out actually put some degree of strength and conditioning into their actual programming. It wasn't just simply work it, hit, and do 20 circuits. But
don't let RBT hear you say that.
Savage.
I mean, they were the originals that did it, to be honest.
Fair cop. I didn't know them that much.
Yeah. I was like, they've been around since 2014, 2015, I think.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Like, I guess they didn't take off to the degree that Fitstop did, though.
RBT at their peak had 20 gyms across Australia.
There wasn't any up here, was there?
Yeah. Yeah, but it didn't do well. I can't remember where it was. Just a touch outside Brisbane. I can't remember.
So I know there's the BFT, which is like the body fit training.
Yeah, we don't talk about body fit. This shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway. What do a tire and 365 condoms have in common?
What?
One's a good year, and one's a great fucking year. That's a good one. That one, I like that. Good.
That's pretty good.
That was done well. And that is all the questions I have. Thank you.
Fantastic.
And that's it from me. Really, pretty straightforward.
Beautiful. And nothing for me because I've got to pull the box up.
No, of course you did. You had one job.
Hey, I had a 4-week streak. Let me go.
Well, anyway. So next week we have one more episode before Christmas. Let's do a Christmas special. Maybe we'll put up Christmas questions.
Yeah.
Don't know what.
We can definitely attack. Okay. It'll be a perfect time for me to rant. Yeah. It'll be a perfect time for me to attack the fucking Christmas bullshit that's going to come out.
Right. Put it on your mirror. Yeah. Write it on the mirror. Goes on the wall.
I'm going to make some non-friends from this episode.
I'm just prepared to be cancelled.
Sold.
Anything we need to worry about coming out, or we're just sort of tailing off into Christmas?
What have we got? You will be able to keep an eye out for the interest into the hypertrophy seminar that will be coming out in the new year. So we'll be going over that again. I think we've already talked about it, but just basically the basics and fundamentals of hypertrophy, mechanical tension, stress, metabolic stress, all that sort of shit, load, how to progressively overload, some very basic stuff. What else we got? I've got the podcast episode is about to drop with Coach Cav, which is really fucking cool. Man, that was a good chat. It was 2 hours with someone who's coached. He's got the NCAA touchdown Hall of Famer. He's got Johan Blake. He's got Justin Reynolds. He's got quarterbacks in the NFL. He's got the first trio of brothers to make it to the NFL, all linebackers or defensive ends. He has all three of them on his book. Like this guy is a freak of a coach, like just who's got access to. So to have 2 hours, man, he stayed up till 10. He stayed up. We started the chat 10 o'clock his time at night, and he like kicked on till midnight to talk. And I was like, bruh, what?
That's pretty epic.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that one to have access to his head. Yeah, so that's coming out. So that'll be out. Actually, the first episode is out. Second one's coming out next week. So I'll actually push that and let everyone know. Yeah, pretty much that's it. Like coaching spots are still open. They are closing fast because I'm not as in like I'm limited.
No,
the way I work and knowing that I have the capacity to actually handle the way I work with people, I can't take on 50, 60, 70 and be like, I'm still good at what I do.
Yeah.
I will gradually see how I handle another 10, another 5, another 5. Yeah. So that number is closing soon. My season B is done. Like I don't have any more for that. So that will be tied off. So if you're keen to get started for season A in around 24, because I don't want a fucking 3-month prep client coming on. I don't work that way. If you want to start getting info accumulated and start training, I've got several who are training for 24 already. Get on board, reach out, because I will close it soon and actually see how I can handle it first.
Beautiful. I mean, similar boat, really. I do have spaces available that I will actually start promoting that more.
Back up.
And that is it from us, as always, guys and girls. Thank you for tuning in.
Peace.
Goodbye.